Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome to GametechUK. Welcome to the morning stream. Streaming every single day, right? Every single weekday, 10 o'clock in the morning, and 3 evenings a week, Monday, Tuesday and Friday. Today I've reinstalled Assassin's Creed. Now, you know, I had a bit of a funny relationship with Assassin's Creed. The subject matter, which is Egypt, is absolutely on point for me. I love Egypt, right? I want to go. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. Troubled times over there. That's for a separate issue. But I think I played the game wrong. I'm a treasure hunter, right? I love looking for treasure, looking for loot in a game, and actually I spend far too much time doing that and forgetting what I'm meant to be doing in the game. And that happened in this game probably more than ever. There's so much loot to find, so much stuff to discover, which is brilliant. But I think I left the main story too long and very quickly moved on to other games. There's this discovery tour which I'm going to take you on today, which is interesting for a number of reasons. Please let me know if it's too loud in the background. A number of reasons, right? Using education in video games trying to educate people and using facts in video games is not new. They've always done that, that's fine. We are going to go on a discovery tour, which is almost like having a museum tour guide take us around parts of Egypt and parts of the game. With nothing to kill you in the environment. You're still going to be able to walk around, which is the interesting bit. I'm still going to be able to control the game, but they're going to take us to certain bits. There's nothing to kill you in the game. So maybe the bit that I'm looking for in this game, which is travelling around Egypt, entering the pyramids and all that sort of stuff, we can do in this discovery tour. Maybe the discovery tour will itch my scratch for being in this environment, because I was looking forward to getting to the pyramids and I never actually got there. You know what I mean? In the game I never got there. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Hello to everyone coming in. I do appreciate you being here on Twitch and Mixer as well. Come over to YouTube. If you are new, feel free to leave me a little cheeky like. If you just stumbled over this video, I'm a variety channel that does everything gaming, so feel free to hit subscribe. Let's get in there, you know? Are you going to keep telling us not to touch anything? Yeah. I could do it in a video, but I'd much rather do it streaming with you lads, so we can chat about things and see how it's going. It might actually be boring. It might be boring. It might be good. It might get old very quickly. You can go through as different characters. I think there's a lot in the game here. Let's just start it and see. So we're going to go to the Discovery Tour. Let me know how the volume is. Obviously, we want to listen to the tour guide as well as me. So let me know if you need it up or down. But yeah, let's just enjoy it, you know? See, I did read that. They took 4 years, and this whole game is based on facts. And this tour is all about facts. So that's why I'm interested in it, and hopefully you are too. It is a free museum, yes. Just leave a tip at the door, right? I'm quite excited about it.
Tour by Assassin's Creed, Ancient Egypt.
Hello, House. So it can take us through the majestic landmarks and acquaint you with ancient Egyptians and their culture. This game is beautiful. Enjoy the vast panoramas of this beautiful country for the eyes of your eagle, your avatar, to climb to the very top of the Great Pyramid. This is going to be cool. Yes, Graham, you keep saying the facts are wrong. It's fine. It's fine. Navigate a boat along the banks of the river, ride a horse across desert and lush, fertile lands. This is going to be cool. I'm excited about this. And when a view truly captures your fascination, take a picture. No, I won't bother with that. Maybe up a tiny bit. That's cool. Let me do that. Let me do that. That's fine. I don't want to be fighting for volume, but I want it right. We hope you enjoy this experience. It's quite unique, isn't it? You can buy this experience separately as well. If you want to do this for yourself, I was reading. You can buy. You don't have to have Assassins. You can actually buy this. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But yes, that's. So let's see how they're going to do it. I'm interested in how they're going to present this to me. Oh, okay, so I'm actually gonna. Oh, I'm actually gonna control. Okay. So this is about the planning of the city. There's 8 stations, so there's 8 things to look at. Learn about the design and layout of the city of Alexandria. Estimated time 6 minutes. Start tour. Yeah, I'm having that.
Welcome to Alexandria. Planning of the city. Alexander's plan to build his great city.
Is it loud enough? Tell me now.
From Homer's Odyssey. There is, in front of Egypt, in the sea with many swells, an island called Pharos. Guided by these clues, Alexander the Great founded his future city at the western end of the Nile Delta.
What's the volume like? Game sound a bit louder. That's fine. Totally fine. Let me turn that up. It was this one, wasn't it? No, hang on. No, it was this one. Oh, hang on. How'd you get out of here? hang on. That's the one we're going to, isn't it? Where is it then? Oh, fucking hell. Let's go back. Back again. Explore. Oh my god, which one was it? Yeah, it was that one. Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's that one. How do you get to it then? Oh my god. If you do buy it, don't pause it. Legendary site. It's this one. More info. So how do you actually do it? How do you do it? Let's reset tour. Never do anything like that. Never. Okay, legendary site. Hide text, show text. What the fuck? So this is the tour, isn't it? Oh fucking hell. Map. We're here. Fast travel. Hopefully this is it. Whew, right, here we go. Here we go. Right, I've turned it up. It should be better now. It should be better. That's it. And you can buy this for $7.99 on Steam. That's good. I like that. I like that.
Alexander's plan to build his great city began with a verse from Homer's Odyssey. There is, in front of Egypt, in the sea with
thanks, John.
An
Thanks,
island
mate.
Called Pharos. Guided by these clues, Alexander the Great founded his future city.
Oh, look at the rocks
at
below the
western end
sea
Nile
there. Look.
Delta.
And it takes us to the next one, so I think it's going to be quite simplistic, but let's listen to the story. That's what we're here for.
Though Alexander considered this location ideal for his great city,
Look at the rocks underwater.
it
That's
presented
amazing.
Considerable challenges. Too difficult to access during storms, the surrounding swamps threatened disease, and the limestone soil prevented the growth of healthy crops. However,
You
due
still
to
can't
the
hear it.
influence of his mentor Aristotle, Alexander the Great recognized that the true value
Tell me if anyone
was
else
its
wants it up.
strategic emplacement. Alexander knew that in controlling Pelusium to the east, Memphis to the south,
Yeah, I get that, Graham, but can
and
you
his
hear it?
crowning glory Alexandria to the west, he would create a triangular stronghold, allowing him to control the entire delta while
So it's
giving him
actually
access to the Mediterranean.
limiting my view. It's telling me what to look at. I can only go from there to there. Does anyone else want it turned up? Yes or no? It's beautiful. Look at the rocks below the water, you know? It's already pretty loud. That's fine. We'll leave it like that. Let's concentrate on the story. Yeah, so you can just buy this. Could you turn it up a bit, please? Yes, okay, let's turn it up a bit. That's fine. Oh, God, now we're going to get here, though, aren't we? Escape again? Oh, thank God it's just escape. Right, it's not a problem. Tell me if you want it up even more after this next one.
The great walls of Alexandria had a humble beginning. Lacking chalk to outline
So again,
the
it's
future
limited our
city's
view there.
foundations, architects were forced to use flour instead. Clouds of migrating birds swept down and ate the flour, erasing the plans. This prompted Alexander to seek guidance from the oracles, who reassured him that his future city was destined to feed a large population.
As they did the map in flour. Right, it's perfect, sounds fine. Let's enjoy it now. Yeah, let's enjoy it. So this is going to be one of them streams where this isn't going to suit everyone. Not everyone wants to listen to it. I do, and obviously if you're going to stick around, then you do as well. If not, you know, I'll catch you on the next one. But it is going to be one of them ones where we are here to listen to the story and see what the game's got in mind for us. So let's carry on.
Excavations led by Mahmud Bey al-Falaki in the 19th century revealed that the wall enclosure measured approximately 5.2 kilometers in length and 2.2 kilometers in width. It was roughly 9 meters in height.
That's crazy, isn't it? I love the facts here. I just love it. I mean, fucking hell, you know? And yet to ring up someone now and get a quote for a kitchen or an ensuite bathroom, forget it, you know? Forget it. And yet they can do that all them many years ago. It's crazy. So the good thing is there's nothing that can kill you here, and if I wanted to, I can go off exploring and just enjoy the map that these lovely people have created. And it is, you know, it is beautifully created. It really is very, very convincing.
These formidable ancient walls would resist a number of attacks, including fending off the king of Syria in 169 BCE.
Oh, that king of Syria.
It wasn't until 295 CE that they eventually fell to Roman Emperor Diocletian, and this only after 8 months of relentless assault.
Oh, okay, so we've got a cool arm mount. Oh, he looks nice, doesn't he? I really enjoy this. I think this is going to actually quash my hunger for playing this game in a nice way. This is what I want to do in the game, is just enjoy being in the environment. This is going to do it for me. I'm going to play through all of this. So yeah, if you enjoy this sort of thing, then yeah, you've come to the right place, because we're going to go all through this.
Alexandria's principal architect, Dinocrates, chose a Hippodamian grid plan. The grid maximized functionality, with wide, straight roads
it's really
and
nice, isn't
canals
it?
running beneath them.
Hello, Radar.
Alexander recognized the military value of the city's design. The wide, parallel streets gave him optimal surveillance of the city, while allowing the unobstructed flow of troops.
You're so true, Monk, so true. You always come in here with your truths, don't you? You know? And look at the animation of that. Look, it's just, it's really cool. I'm not going to buy the next Assassins. Yeah, I'm not going to buy the next Assassins. That's not for me. This one is because of Egypt. You know, love it. Yeah, I won't be getting the next one though.
A central corridor ran from the Mediterranean's north port down to Lake Mareotis to the south. This thoroughfare acted as an unobstructed link.
So that's
for
me moving the
commercial
camera
trade and travel between the two ports. Many of the streets were bordered with grand buildings and parks, including Canopic Street, with its impressive gate bordering the eastern end.
Whoa.
Out of the way, bitch.
Alexandria was most likely built upon an already existing Egyptian village.
There's so much detail there, isn't there?
Upon its completion, the Egyptians reviled the city, refusing to call it by its founder's name. Instead, they called it Raked, the building, as a mark of disdain, which was later Hellenized into Rakotis. Despite this, the name Alexandria would remain.
I mean, look at the couple of things that I like about this game, and it's not original to this game, so I'm not going to give it all for it, but it does it very well in this game. You can follow these people in the game, and they go around their daily business. They go to work, they go to home. It's not just like, you know, the old days where they'd pick up something and move it there, and it would just be almost like a GIF. All of the people in this game have got a life, and it's the way they've programmed it. It's fucking awesome. So you can follow someone, they go to work, then they go back to the house, and then they get on. It's amazing. And look at the detail on the bottom there in the water. Look at the way the all the steps are going in the water. I think it's beautiful, this game. I really do. Yeah, exactly, Cosmic. Yeah, that's what I want to. You know, how is this going to? Is it going to just educate us? Is it going to educate and entertain us? Is it going to want us to go? You know, want more from it? I'm interested. You know. Okay, so what do we do next? You can now explore at your own place to choose a new tour. So if we press tab, so we've done that one. Okay, so how many have we got? This is good. Oh, we've got shitloads, I think, because that was Alexandria, wasn't it? Okay. Yeah, let's just do them all. Let's just tick them all off. This is going to be done over obviously 3 or 4 streams. Yeah, let's just do it. Yeah, let's just do it. Although saying that, hang on a minute. How do we had this before, didn't we? How can we actually start it, right? We had this just a minute ago. Oh, maybe fast travel, right click. Okay, okay. Hello, Chief. How you doing? And we'll flip between them, so we're not always learning about the same area or the same person. We'll just flit around it all, you know.
Welcome to Introduction to Alexandria. After conquering Egypt in 331 BCE, Alexander the Great decided to build a new city, which, as per his habit, he named after himself. After his death, Alexandria quickly became the capital city of the Ptolemaic kingdom and the most important city of the Greek world.
I got you, Roger, yeah. You can't kill or be killed in this, yeah. I mean, he's naming a city after himself. It's like fucking having a channel on YouTube named after yourself. It's ridiculous. Right, let's close that. Hello, Robbo. How you doing?
The city was built between the Mediterranean Sea and Lake Mareotis, which resulted in Alexandria becoming a crucial cultural hub and trading center.
So some of the stations are quite quick. Some have got a bit more in it. That's cool. It's nice and simple, isn't it? It's just nice and, you know. Exactly, Pete. Yeah. And you can veer off if you wanted to. We can go and have a look. Nothing's going to kill us. I mean, there's so much in this game. I've got a lot of love for this game. I really have, I must say.
Sumptuous buildings could be seen wherever one turned their gaze. The royal palaces, the many
I should imagine it's DLC,
the
Punk. Yeah.
lush public gardens, and large avenues.
What annoys me about this is I was so engulfed by it, and the fact that they were going to do Egypt. I brought the whole thing, spent about 80 quid on it, got the season pass and everything, so I thought, yeah, I'm going to want to play it. Are the animals still active in this mode? Yes, yeah, you can call up your mount and all that. Yeah, you can do all that. I think they're going to get me to use the eagle in a minute.
With its incomparable beauty and advantageous geographic location, Alexandria attracted foreigners, intellectuals, and traders. One of the most cosmopolitan cities of the ancient world,
36,
Alexandria
nice. You think they're getting it, Punk?
Athens as the most important Greek city in history.
See, the funny thing is, it's one of them games where, look, if we look down here, right, that looks shit, doesn't it? You know, it does look shit. Textures are shit, the way that, but overall, it's one of them games that overall just does a really, really convincing job, and I like games like that, because, like I say, if we look at each individual bit, oh, sorry, love, sorry, you know, some things are, you know, some things are better than others, but overall, I don't know, maybe that is the Assassin's Creed way, but they make a fantastic job of convincing you that you're here, and that it's all spot on.
Egyptian obelisks were highly prized by Roman architects.
Yes, I like them.
While Roman design previously favored the use of a single monument, Egyptian obelisks tended to come in pairs and were generally located
okay,
at
for
the
37 quid you get a season pass as well.
Several
wow.
ancient Egyptian obelisks are still in existence today, though many are spread out across the world in locations such as Paris, Rome, New York, and London. All of this shows that Alexandria was significantly influenced by the rich past of Egypt.
Nice. So let me know, is this going to be something you're going to enjoy? And be honest as well. I do like honesty, I do respect honesty. Let me know, is this something I'm going to continue anyway, so the question is really, are you going to join? Is it something you're interested in?
Alexandria had
this sort of thing in a video game.
Its most famous artery was the Canopic Way. It was lined with sumptuous buildings,
look at the detail,
houses, and temples, and was roughly 8 kilometers in length. This street was one of the most important shipping entrances to Alexandria, and often hosted processions and festivals.
See, the thing is, it's weird, isn't it? Like, you know, if you go to the History Channel, you can watch documentaries like this. I want to decide for myself, and with your help as well, you know, is there a place for this sort of thing in video games, so we can learn about it in a video game? Is it unique? I mean, I think the way they're doing it here is quite unique. Definitely taking you on a tour is unique. I like it. I really do like it. Let's get on my horse. I'm so lazy. I don't even want to walk over there.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's just more of a general question, you know. Education's never a bad thing. Yeah, exactly. And there is so much to do, Roger. I think that was one of the reasons. There's too much to do in a funny kind of way. It's good to be back here, actually.
The width of the street, 30 meters, was abnormally large even by Greek standards. This is likely because the Canopic Way was made in a short span of time and based on an urban plan, as opposed to being slowly built over time.
Yeah, exactly, John. Yeah, they're really utilising what they've done. Yeah. The only gripe I've got is this line, right, the waypoint. I like the waypoint, but when they're doing the education bit, it should disappear. This is PC. Yeah, this is PC. Yeah, the line should disappear. We don't really need a waypoint. Just a normal in-game sort of area would be good, you know. That's history in general, though, isn't it, Graham? We've only got books. We ain't got videos and podcasts and blogs, have we? It's all artistic license, isn't it?
Massive doorways towards Canopus. This structure was known as the Canopic Door.
Okay, so that's Alexandria. So if we go here, right, so we've done that one. Let's go to the pyramids. I want to go to the pyramids. Right, here we go. The origins of the pyramids. 7 stations. Now I know how to control the bloody thing. Oh, here we go, here we go. It is one thing in my life that I do want to see these, but it's such a troubled area over there at the moment, or for the foreseeable future. I cannot imagine taking my children to this area, and that's such a shame, you know. You'll have to let me know what you think there, but look at this, look. Can you imagine walking in them, you know?
Of the pyramid.
Different voice, that's good.
The origin of the word pyramid is controversial. Most believe that it originates with the Greek word pyramis, which referred to a bread of conical shape. Life and death in ancient Egypt were modeled on the cycle of the sun. The perfect shape of the smooth-faced pyramid became associated with the metaphor of the pharaoh transformed into one of the sun's rays in death.
Have you really, Zach?
Pyramids
Yeah, nice.
represented the Ben-Ben, the primordial mound of the Heliopolitan creation myth. These stories permeated every aspect of Egyptian life.
Yeah, it's not all that, is it, Robbo?
Extent.
Yeah. That's like, I was talking last night actually, where I go in Turkey, it's nothing like this, don't get me wrong, but you go down to the water and there's the mountains in front of you and they've all got tombs carved in them, and just that little hint of that sort of 3,000 or 4,000 year old history, I just love it, you know. Yeah, this is cool.
During the pre-dynastic period, the development of funerary practices was different, depending on whether one was located in Lower Egypt or Upper Egypt. Well before the pyramid, there was the burial pits. It is on the site of Merimde Beni Salome in Lower Egypt that we find the oldest funerary site, dating back to 5000 BCE.
Wow.
Study of the tombs revealed that the bodies of the deceased were deposited in a shallow grave, in a fetal position. Though a few objects were recovered from these graves, they offered no insight as to the social class of those interred within.
I think what I like about the pyramids is they're just so unique, aren't they? There's nothing like it in the world. There's nothing like it. You know, why choose a pyramid and how was it built? No one apparently still knows how they're built. It's just crazy, isn't it? Love it. So much mystery. That's why there's been so many films about it, isn't there? It's just shrouded in mystery, really. How the oh, you can't jump in this mode.
In Upper Egypt, pre-dynastic practices are easier to study, but reveal more complex funerary rites.
There's one in Antarctica. What, a pyramid?
Into two cultural phases, Badarian and Nagata. The Badarian phase ranged from 4400 BCE to 3800 BCE. Small necropolises were discovered on the outskirts of villages, revealing the emergence of a funerary cult. The bodies of the deceased were lowered into an oval grave and covered with goat or gazelle skins. Items needed in everyday life were added alongside the body.
Tone, you're late. Get back to the back of the class. I think there's one in Las Vegas too. Nice one. One in Las Vegas.
During the three Nagata periods ranging from 4000 BCE to 3510 BCE, funerary practices evolved in complexity. The shape of tombs changed from oval to rectangular, mimicking the homes of the living. The size of the burials increased and funerary items became more stylized and numerous. Tombs gained complexity with masonry, wooden veneers, or raw bricks added to strengthen the structures. In time, socially stratified necropolises emerged. For example, in Hyrcanopolis, the elite and commoners had separate necropolises.
Amazing, aren't they? Absolutely amazing.
The term mastaba,
and look at that picture. Oh, you might not be able to see it behind me. Shows you the
Arabic,
tunnels going
refers
down.
to a form of funerary architecture that was present in Egypt from the Archaic period to the Middle Kingdom. An evolution of the burial pit,
Hello, MJ.
mastabas were generally composed of two parts. A structure was built above the ground in the form of a massive rectangle with stepped walls, and a subterranean burial chamber was located underneath.
Sky looks really nice
Smaller
up there, doesn't it?
mastabas often surrounded the much larger tomb of the king. These generally held the remains of the king's relatives and courtiers.
See, it's quite funny in this particular game mode. Like, you can say, "Oh, yeah, it's not about graphics; it's about gameplay." It's weird, isn't it? Because this sort of now you're getting up there almost to a cinematic use of video games. It is about the graphics now, isn't it? It's got to be realistic. It's got to be convincing. It's got to be immersive. And I think this game really pulls it off, actually. Oh, we're going inside. Here we go.
The arrangement of the substructure of the mastaba evolved during the course of the Old Kingdom.
PG tips.
From the 5th dynasty onwards, mastabas often featured multi-roomed substructures, with sometimes up to 30 rooms.
Hello, sir.
Also, the quantity and quality of decorated surfaces increased noticeably, as well as the number of statues found within.
Personally, so far, and I'm sure they'd have to get permission for this, and maybe it wouldn't even have a rightful place in the way that we're doing it now. And you'll have to let me know. Behind me, I don't think you can see it, but there's a picture of the real thing. I wouldn't mind top right some pictures of the real tombs and all that sort of stuff coming up. You'll have to let me know what you think. Would it take you out of the video game if you did have real examples coming up on the screen? I don't know. Maybe I'd like a bit more real stuff. But I suppose we're in the video game, so you've got to stay in here, haven't you?
The 6th dynasty would see art used to its utmost.
We have got something real here.
The entire surface of a mastaba would be covered in scenes of daily life.
Oh, I love the hieroglyphics and that, didn't you? Just love
those
it.
lucky enough to comfortably spend eternity near the pyramid of a pharaoh. The best example of this type of mastaba is the tomb of Meroruka in Saqqara.
I know with now, John. Yeah, I know. Went up to the British Museum a little while ago, and I just literally couldn't wait to get in the Egyptian bit. I think I've got a bit of a thing for it, you know. Just like you look at these, you know, like this sort of thing here. You look, it's in front of you, and you just think, fucking hell, it's just like a connection to the past, isn't it? Someone, some person, some human carved that out, you know. Someone did it, and now you're standing in front of it all them thousands of years later. It's almost too much to take in, isn't it? So we've done that one. We've done that one. Okay, right, let's go back here. Let's have another one from the pyramids. Exactly, anything like that, Robbo. It's like between you and the thing you're looking at might only be a meter, but there's thousands of years in that meter. Sometimes you just can't take it in, can you? Oh, this is lovely though, isn't it? Fucking hell, I do like this game. I really, really do like this game. You know, the whole immersion thing is 100% here in this game.
Welcome to the Step Pyramid Complex of Djoser.
Yeah, they're random ones. Yeah, definitely. Same thing. Yeah. Let's turn it off. Getting cold in here. Right, where are we going? We've got to climb down? We've got to climb down. It's definitely a winner. The way they've made you control the character within this environment.
The Step Pyramid,
you know,
is at the center of an enclosed complex comprised of temples, models of palaces, and artificial constructions, all built for the afterlife of Pharaoh Djoser. The funeral complex itself covers 15 hectares and is located on the highest point of the Saqqara Plateau. It's clear from the elaborate detail and scale of the complex that this was a technological marvel of its time. The only fragment of information regarding the design plans of the complex was discovered on a section of stone containing an architectural sketch of a vault.
They literally live, and I know this goes in, this goes on in other areas of the world even now, but they live for the afterlife, don't they? They live for after death. It's not crazy, but it's crazy, isn't it?
The Step Pyramid is the first monument built of stone. Standing at 60 meters high, it was the tallest of its time. Built 4,700 years ago, it was originally intended as a mastaba,
I know,
which was a flat-roofed rectangular tomb.
No, I preferred their later tombs, didn't you?
May have felt this was too humble for the great Pharaoh Djoser.
Yeah, we want something better than that.
The steps.
We definitely want something better than that. I'm not sure about this this line. I know it's doing the job, but this line isn't available in the game. Just that hexagon would have been fine up there. I don't need this dot. Yeah, I don't need that. I'd like to be able to take that out. Hello, Miklos. How you doing?
The Step Pyramid complex is enclosed within a 1,600-meter long wall.
I mean, just
that is
to
10
build the
meters
wall
high.
would have been. Look at it, you know.
This large wall was made out of white limestone and oriented along the north-south axis.
Crazy. Even the wall alone is a feat, isn't it? We always notice you, Nicholas, at the back of the class
While
with your
there
foot
are
on the
14
desk. We
its
knew it was
eastern
you.
door was intended to accommodate the living. The remaining false doors were built as portals for the king's ka to pass through. Along with false doorways, the walls were designed with bastions and steeples resembling a defensive wall. The positioning of these design elements suggest that they were related to the Hebsed festival.
Who said that? But like Cosmic said, the next step for this, because this is meant to make you feel like you're here, isn't it? And within the realms of video games, yeah, I do feel like I'm here. You know, you are looking around, you're using the mouse as your own eyes. The next step is to put that headset on and actually stand here, isn't it? You know, that's, and I don't think it's going to happen this generation. Not at all. But it will come.
The only
it will come.
real entrance into the complex is at the end of a long, narrow passageway. This enclosure has a stone canopy carved to resemble wooden logs. At the end of the passage is a large opening. Meant to resemble a doorway, it has carved doors and hinges
scale,
that are
definitely
permanently
right,
open and immovable.
Yeah, you got it here to a certain extent. Look, you know, because you know you're oh cool. Yeah, you got it here to a certain extent, but being able to stand there and actually look up, you know, in VR would be amazing.
The corridor is lined with 20 pairs of columns up to 6 meters high, built by stacking stone drums. The completed facade was made to resemble
You know what I mean?
stock bundles. Traces of red paint were found on the columns, along with black paint on the support walls. This would have had the effect of blending the walls into the shadows to give the red columns the illusion of standing on their own.
The lighting model in this game as well is so cool. It really is. Exactly, Cosmic. Yeah. Humans. I mean, what's that? Oh God, what cartoon is that? It's Wall-E, isn't it? Where the humans are just great big fat lumps sitting on this like this you know, thing that just, you know, like the mobility scooter. It's gonna happen, you know. Yeah, we got Elite Dangerous for that. I'm enjoying this. I must say, I like it. I like it. Hopefully you are too. I'll keep mixing it up.
Chambers are located on either side of the columns and are thought to be chapels representing the provinces of Upper and Lower Egypt. According to some Egyptologists, the arrangement of the rooms may be symbolic of jurisdiction and judgment.
Yeah, you're right, Gaz, yeah. But what I like about it is, if we want to, you can just go exploring, you know, without fear of death or anything like that. Nothing to fight. We can literally go where we want. It's, you know, it's pretty cool, isn't it? And the feeling of freedom in this game is, I got that straight away. I got that. Yeah, I mean the whole reason we've got where we have as humans is because we're inquisitive. If we stifle that inquisitivity just by putting a headset on, we're fucked, really, aren't we? You know. You need to charge my scooter up.
Guarded by a line of carved
Oh, these are
snakes,
nice.
This tomb is located at the southern end of the courtyard.
I like that.
The burial chamber is beneath it, down a 30-meter deep shaft. The low-ceilinged chamber
You like that, Robbo?
resembles a
That one's for
mastaba
you.
and
That one's
is
for you,
relatively
mate.
intact compared to the later burial chamber. The tomb is made of pink granite, though there is evidence it was once polished limestone. Too small for a body, it is possible that the tomb was intended for the king's ka, or to hold the canopic jars containing the king's organs. Later traditions in burials would have the canopic jars in the same chamber as the body.
It's crazy, isn't it, that they take all the organs out. It's just, wow, you know. It's too deep, really, isn't it, to even think about understanding.
A polished limestone staircase leads west from the tomb to underground apartments. Some of these rooms were intended to accommodate the king and his family in the afterlife. Many large jars of pottery were found, including some that still had
Who
deposits
says they're
of
unnecessary?
beer, milk,
We
and
can't just
oil inside them.
unnecessarily everything.
The false doorways
You know,
are
you
decorated
just can't do
with
it.
reliefs of the king taking part in rituals. In these reliefs,
I
he is
struggle with
seen
words, so I'll
carrying
make my own up.
agricultural
It's
tools,
alright, it's cool.
running, and performing a ritual for the reanimation of the deceased. The architect Imhotep chose stone as a building material in order for the
Imhotep,
complex
wasn't he
to
in
last.
The Mummy? Wasn't he the baddie?
Following the
Imhotep.
completion of the
I'm sure he
initial
was, wasn't
mastaba, Imhotep devised a burial of more ambitious dimensions. He set about stacking mastabas on top of each other. Evidence shows that the pyramid was enlarged twice by additional cuts into the steps, eventually reaching 62 meters in height and 121 meters by 109 meters at its base.
Yeah, Imhotep was the Mummy in the 90s reboot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, love them. Love them films.
A staircase allowing the pharaoh to enter the divine world was represented by a tiered pyramid, oblong in shape, completely enveloping the original mastaba. The pyramid itself is a solid structure. All of the chambers and tunnels are beneath the structure.
Beautiful trees that in this game as well. Absolutely stunning. The bit I like in the Mummy films was, you know, when the woman started to realise that she might be connected to this you know, princess from Egyptian times, was when, you know, when they went down into the cave and she sort of stood there and you saw the old carvings all ruined, and then as she sort of, I can't remember if she looked it or touched it, you saw what they used to look like. Oh, I love all that. Yeah, love that. Here we go.
Pharaoh Djoser the Sacred.
And this is what they look like now. It's fucked, isn't it?
He ruled for 19 years.
Nice.
During his reign, he was known as Horus Negericat, divine of the body. He was given the name Djoser several centuries after his death, as a sign of respect, and he is regarded as one of the greatest pharaohs of Egypt. An apocrypha was drafted in his name during the Ptolemaic period, 2,500 years after his death.
I mean, these people had some impact, didn't they? And not only that, this statue was, you know, it looks like it comes from another world almost, doesn't it? But this was made by humans. Humans were, you know, knocking and carving and that. You know, it's crazy, isn't it? With history, like, oh, I've got a friend who loves Henry VIII. You know, Henry VIII was probably a wanker, right? We all know he was, just a greedy bastard. The thing I'm interested in about that sort of history is not Henry VIII. He's just the people around him, the people who built the castles, the people who did everything like that. They're the people I'm interested in, like the people who built this statue, rather than who the statue's about. The people who built the statue, that's who I'm interested in.
Djoser was associated with the sky god Horus in his human form. A plinth near the step pyramid is inscribed with his name and associated with Horus. He was the first to reside in Memphis, making it the central hub of government for the region. Djoser was known to have built many temples and monuments before the complex at Saqqara. The funerary complex was the first of its kind, and would mark Djoser's greatest architectural achievement.
But don't you think that though, like Henry VIII, he stands there, he gets, you know, his dinner's cooked, he gets people to bloody dress him and make his clothes, he just gives out orders, he gets people to wipe his arse. What's so good about Henry VIII is the people around him that I find interesting. I always have done. Henry VIII, shit him. Right, okay, so let's go this way. Hello, Atonin, how you doing?
The funerary complex was built to resemble Djoser's palace, with the stone carved to imitate mud brick, trees, and reeds. Creating these details and softer textures in hard stone would have been a time-consuming, labor-intensive task. Much of the complex is designed to accommodate the Hebsed festival, allowing the king the ability to affirm his rule even in the afterlife.
All about the bloody afterlife, isn't it?
In the corner is a temple referred to as
nice.
T. This temple is among the most mysterious structures in the complex. Its outer facade is plain, while inside it is decorated with intricate jed pillars and carvings. It's possible that this place was intended to be where the Ka of the King materialized, symbolically visiting the platform of the Hebsed courtyard from the afterlife.
One question I've got though, the thing that we're looking at here, is that as it was, are we looking at it as a ruin or looking at it now? I'm a little bit confused on that. Help me out with that. Are we looking at this at the time of the game, or are we looking at it now as a ruin? I'm a little bit confused with that bit. I don't know if anyone else is.
The Hebsed festival enabled the pharaoh to maintain universal order and renew godly powers. Through a series of trials and religious rites, such as dance, offerings, and visiting the sanctuaries of various deities, the ruler's vital force and divine nature was confirmed. The celebration was meant to represent the ruler's jubilee,
okay, yeah,
and would take place every 30 years.
So this is already old as shit, isn't it? You know, in the time of the game.
Ritual dates from the first dynasty.
Just had to clear that up, you know.
Within the complex of Djoser, southeast of the pyramid, is a dedicated space for this essential ritual to be performed by the king, even in the afterlife.
Old as fuck, yeah.
The Hebsed courtyard is lined with false chapels and equipped with a platform featuring 2 staircases meant to represent Upper and Lower Egypt.
Yeah, don't ask Scarab for bacon. Hang on, I'm just getting waylaid here. There might be treasure over here. It could be treasure. No, there's no treasure. I've taken bloody treasure out.
Located in the courtyard, the 2 pavilions are believed to represent the palaces of Upper and Lower Egypt. Rectangular in shape, the 2 replica structures face one another.
Look at the heat haze in the distance. That's really good.
Similar to the chapels of the Hebsed ceremony, with column crowns carved to look like falling leaves. Because Queen Hetep-Hernepti and Princess Inetkas's names were discovered on a stela near the pavilions, it is thought that these funerary chapels were intended for them.
Pete, how was your fish and chips last night? You little shit, I had to go and have some biscuits because of you. I'd have been happy if I'd had them little fish and chip crisps. You know, the ones in the fucking small packet. Why put them in such a small packet? You know I'm going to eat 3 of them, you know? Should have had them in. Hello, Chris. How you doing? The loot is all at the British Museum. There wasn't as much as I think there was. As I thought there was. I thought there was more, but yeah, there's a lot there.
Facing the stars where the deceased ruler was believed to travel after death. Within this temple was the pharaoh's serdab, or cellar. It is a small, enclosed space with one wall sloped to match the first step of the pyramid.
Sausage in battle, for fuck's sake, Pete. Yeah, they're nice, Robbo, but it ain't fucking battered sausage, is it, you know? Oh, what's going on here? What's going on here?
The north wall has 2 observation holes.
Oh, nice.
A statue of Djoser is seated on the throne, wearing a mantle
like
and
Stocky,
a
he'll be in a minute.
Wig,
oh, he is here, look.
A crown known as a Nemes.
Stocky's on the throne.
This statue looks through the observation holes into the courtyard, enabling the king to observe the ceremonies and receive offerings in the afterlife.
So that tour is complete. Let's have a little look around here. What do you think? Is it worth doing as a stream? I like it. I'm enjoying it. You have to let me know. You will have to let me know. And I do always respect honesty. It's cool. So let's not do all about the pyramids or all about Alexandria. Let's see what else they got. Let's go to the Romans. It's something different, isn't it? You know, there's hundreds of streams I'm gonna do, thousands of streams. It's just one, isn't it? You know. I'm not taking in any info as banter is always golden in chat. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. No, not at all, Pete. No, each game is individual, you know. Let's start the tour.
Welcome to Roman military.
Look at him, he looks
equipment.
far too happy to be a Roman, doesn't he? So many things I could say.
The strength of Rome was directly dependent on
What
its
are they
military supremacy.
Oh, they're just
and
practicing.
fundamentally militaristic society. Regular citizens, comprised mostly of farmers and herders, joined to protect their land and families. In return for their service, members of this civic army were allowed to vote. Trained to be highly disciplined and obedient to superior officers, citizen soldiers developed a deep sense of loyalty to their city.
What's going on here, you two? What's going on? This surely isn't allowed back there, you know. That looks wrong, doesn't it?
The quality of the armor of a Roman foot soldier was intrinsically linked to his social status and wealth.
This is an early quick fit.
Chainmail was the most commonly used type of armor. Scale armor, made famous in today's media, came into use after Caesar's time. Foot soldiers
That
carried
chainmail's so
large
heavy,
and
isn't it? If you've
oblong
ever lifted
shields,
one up,
while
so
the
heavy.
cavalry used smaller ones of Greek origin. Soldiers were expected to carry their own kit, including the
Deadly
tools
against
required
posts.
for the construction of forts and tents.
I'll tell you what though, seriously, if you enjoy this sort of thing, buy it, $7.99, right, and then decide if you want to play in the environment as a game, because I think this is actually quite fulfilling my need and interest in the game just by doing this. It's awesome. It's $7.99. Comes free if you've got the game, obviously.
Roman soldiers used the same types of weapons. The stomach and face were the most targeted parts of the body. As such, a legionary was equipped with two close combat weapons, a dagger and a short sword, known as a gladius. One of the most ingenious Roman weapons was the javelin. Its pyramid-shaped tip pierced the body,
Ooh.
while its iron shank was designed to break upon impact,
No, not at all,
stopping
Pete.
the
No,
enemy
not
from
at all.
throwing it back.
These games are very much go fetch missions. That's what they are. That they, you know, talk to this woman. Oh, she wants you to go and collect that or kill him, and then you come back and get your reward. It's fine. It's not complex. It's not complex at all. It rakes him like racket in the washing machine. Oh fucking hell! Let's push him out of the way. Yeah, we can do that because you can't kill me. Get out the fucking out of the way.
Whoa! During their conquests, the Romans regularly transformed enemy technologies to add to their own formidable arsenal. After capturing a Carthaginian vessel,
No, it's just called my
the
own
Romans
horse.
adopted its better features and
Just hold
constructed
Q
a
to get your own
superior
horse,
fleet
don't you?
of ships. Adapting heavy artillery designs from Greek models aided the Romans in building catapults and ballistae. The latter became an iconic symbol of Roman warfare.
Right, we've done that one. Oh, okay. Well, if you like that, what about the new game, Pete, from Frontier? People who do Elite Dangerous, the Jurassic Park. So if you like developing things, that could be quite cool. I haven't played it myself, but yeah, that could be cool. I might just finish with a little look round. I want to do the one where we go through a boat trip up the Nile, which is awesome, isn't it? Ubisoft, though, they definitely know how to do an environment. I mean, you only have to look at Far Cry as well for that.
Whoa!
It's very, very cool. It's almost video games to the next level, isn't it? Next gen. That seems to be You don't really hear next gen anymore, do you? Because it's current gen, isn't it? There is no next gen yet. But this, you know, it's just awesome. Who's that fucking singing? Right, let's have a look. Daily life. I want to go up the water. That's what I want to do. Okay. Would you stream what, Jurassic Park? If they give it to me, I will. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it doesn't spark my interest too much, I'll be honest with you.
Welcome to the Greek Pharaohs.
Oh, this is going to be nice. Look at this. I mean, this, honestly, the design, this must have taken, well, it took 4 years, didn't it, to develop this game, and you can really see why. And I should imagine if you enjoy this sort of thing as a designer or a graphic artist, this is joy, isn't it? Imagine going to work and creating this. Oh, which evolution then? Oh, yeah, okay. Did you mean Jurassic Park? I mean, look at this. Look at the way it's designed. I remember coming here in the game.
Pharaohs were considered divine
amazing.
incarnations of the gods. As an avatar of the gods living on Earth, the pharaoh's role was to preserve fundamental values and universal harmony by removing chaos, Izfet, and ensure that justice, Mot, prevailed. The pharaoh, by divine ancestry and through multiple offerings, was the bond that unites the world of men to the world of the gods, and allows the maintenance of the cosmic order.
Oh, that bloody cosmic order just needs ordering in cosmically, doesn't it? Cosmic, man.
The Ptolemaic dynasty reigned over Egypt from 305 BCE to 30 BCE.
Statues are amazing, actually.
The dynasty was called the Ptolemies of the Lagids, in recognition of the founder of the dynasty, Ptolemy Lagos, a Greek general and close friend of Alexander the Great. While Macedonian, Ptolemy Lagos understood that to be accepted by the Egyptian people, he would have to adopt their traditions. Upon assuming the title of pharaoh, he changed his name to Ptolemy I Soter, meaning savior.
I swear my wife's got a pair of shoes just like that though, which is a bit worrying. And they're wearing them as like, oh, I'm hard. You know what I mean? Let's go over here.
Born in 356 BCE, Alexander the Great went through a hasty education in the affairs of the kingdom.
See, so when you get pictures out of your kids in the bath, it's been going on for years, you know what I mean?
He quickly rose through the ranks. After his father's assassination in 336 BCE, which some believed was orchestrated by Alexander himself, he became king of Macedonia. Ruler of a unified kingdom and leader of a large army, Alexander set his sights on conquest. Eager to reclaim the Greek cities of Asia Minor, he took on the Persian forces, earning victory after victory.
Yeah, it cracks you up though. They're like, right, okay, John, we want you to come in for your statue, right? Your statue work. We're going to build a statue of you, John. That's John. That is gonna, well, it's gonna stand forever, right? Oh, okay, yeah, cool. So just stand in your favourite pose. That's it. Yeah, that's good. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's good. Get your little spear. Yeah, that's brilliant. Just a quick question. Those shoes, yeah. Do you think we should take them off? This statue is going to last for probably, what, 10,000 years. And I'm just thinking the shoes might go out of fashion and they look shit today, let alone what they're going to look like in the future. No, leave them on. I must have them on. Alright, yeah, if that's what you want, you know, fuck it. See you later.
Ever victorious, Alexander the Great marched on.
I don't take my heels off for anyone.
After city until he reached Egypt, where the Persians were defeated yet again. Viewed as a liberator by the Egyptian people, Alexander decided to become pharaoh in due form. He traveled to Thebes to make a sacrifice to Apis. then went to the oasis of Siwa, where he was proclaimed son of Amun. Officially Pharaoh of Egypt, Alexander spent much of the winter there and founded the city of Alexandria.
What are you on about?
Perhaps not coincidentally, being Pharaoh allowed Alexander to spread propaganda to prepare further conquests. He resumed his military campaigns in 331 BCE.
And he sort of replies, he goes, look mate, look, I'm wearing a fucking skirt and you're worried about these high heels I've got. Just leave me alone and do your statue and hurry up, alright? Because I've got some stuff to be doing. Killing stuff. In my shoes.
On his deathbed in 323 BCE,
Double-hard geezer, yeah.
gifted the satrapy of Egypt to Ptolemy Lagos. Perfectly aware of the value of Egypt, Ptolemy ensured not only the stability of the country's borders, but also its economic and military development. At the same time, he worked with the Egyptian elite to maintain the internal order of the country. By 305 BCE, Ptolemy, well respected both in Egypt and in the Mediterranean, was at the head of the largest fleet of the Hellenistic world. Ptolemy officially took the title of Pharaoh of Egypt in January 304 BCE, on the anniversary of Alexander the Great's death.
The other thing I like is the fact that they've sort of modelled these old paintings within the game. Like when you actually play the game, you just walk past these as if they're nothing. But if you look very, very closely, they've got all art, and some of it is scanned in from real art. I mean, it's pretty lovingly crafted, I tell you.
Alexander died in Babylon.
Oh, look at this. That looks cool, doesn't it?
BCE.
Wow.
His remains were placed first in a solid gold sarcophagus, and
That's
then
nice.
within another. The casket was carried in an ornate custom wagon, gilded and set with precious stones, and pulled by 64 mules crowned with gold.
Wow.
The funeral procession was diverted to a grandiose temple in Alexandria, built in the conqueror's honor under the orders of Ptolemy
Get out,
I.
Tone. Be here first thing tomorrow. That looks awesome, doesn't it? Gold must have been plentiful, surely, to be using for that.
Julius Caesar visited Alexander's tomb at the capture of Alexandria, and the Roman Emperor Augustus reportedly placed flowers there. However, though many powerful leaders claim to have visited it, the tomb's location has gone missing from history.
Oh.
Some accounts do state that the golden
loft,
coffin was replaced by a glass sarcophagus, probably by Ptolemy X. It is also implied that Cleopatra may have plundered the tomb in a time of financial crisis.
I'm just waiting for the next. We've got some fucking, what's it called? Antiques Roadshow at Dover Castle. And next up, we've got a Sarah who's got a fucking great big tomb, right? That's been missing for thousands of years. Where have you got it? I found it in my loft. I just found it. Yeah, bullshit. Right, that one's complete. Let's have a little look round here. It's been in the family for years, you know. My family used it as a bath for years, you know. You got to say though, you got to admit that is exquisite detail in this game, mind-blowing detail. Right, where should we go next? Oh, let's go and Cleopatra coming at you. You know, let's get in there. Nice one, Pete. When you mean family, you mean everyone in the chat, don't you? That's what you mean. That's what you mean, isn't it, Pete? The real family here, you know?
Welcome to Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt.
Get out of the fucking way.
Cleopatra VII Theophilopator ascended the throne in 51 BCE at the age of 18.
You've lost me, Graham.
Though her early attempts to maintain power were often challenged, she eventually prevailed and became the sole ruler of Egypt. According to Plutarch, she was the only Ptolemaic pharaoh to speak the Egyptian language, Her intelligence, coupled with a good education and a great political mind, allowed her to make the alliances necessary to maintain the independence of Egypt while Rome was becoming a Mediterranean empire.
It's handy you took a drone with you. Yeah, definitely. I tell you what though, I just love the way they've modelled under the water. It doesn't happen very often, certainly not in a game the scale of this. Yeah, it's awesome. I think we could be taking on the camera of the little eagle rather than the drone. Yeah, I mean he's there, isn't he? Look, he's there.
It is important to understand that Cleopatra's knowledge of Egyptian language and keen understanding of the culture allowed her to make powerful ideological reference that resonated with ancient Egyptians. By associating herself with the goddess Isis, the divine mother, great of magic, and repository of divine essence, Cleopatra firmly established herself as the protector of the two lands and legitimized her place on the throne.
It was only a few years ago that I got the revelation that Cleopatra and Julius Caesar were at the same era. You know what I mean? Didn't even think it, you know? That's how thick I am. What's going on in here? He's like, oh no, he hasn't lost something. He's cleaning. Are they still chatting, or is that, have they taken that bit out? Yeah, in the game they're having little conversations that you can listen to as well. It's very cool.
Upon his death in 51 BCE, Ptolemy XII Aulus bequeathed his kingdom to his daughter and eldest son, Cleopatra VII and Ptolemy XIII. As was custom, the siblings were married. The new pharaoh was 10 years old, his sister wife 17. The early years of their reign were not easy. Between 50 and 48 BCE, droughts and floods aggravated Egypt's problems. General OCULUS and the royal advisor Pothinos kept intervening in the young ruler's political decisions, and eventually colluded to turn Ptolemy XIII against Cleopatra. By 48 BCE, Cleopatra was in exile.
Same thing, right, so the geezer, he's just finished John's statue. He's got Sarah coming in. Sarah, if you'd like to stand there, yeah, we're just going to do a statue of you, a large statue, because you're a big lady. It's going to last thousands of years. Oh, your top's fallen down. Oh, God. It's fine. It's fine. I'll put some shells on my nipples. Yeah, okay, you could do that. And are you totally happy that this is how you want to be represented for 5,000 years? Well, my name's Michelle, so yeah, why not? Okay, yep, go ahead. That's fine. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Fucking hell.
During Cleopatra's exile, the Roman Empire was not without its own internal conflict. Caesar and Pompey were at war with one another, and after his defeat in 48 BCE, Pompey fled to Alexandria in the hope of finding refuge. This turned out to be an unwise decision. Listening to his advisors, Ptolemy XIII elected to have Pompey assassinated, his head kept as a gift in the hopes of acquiring Caesar's favor. This gambit backfired. Instead of earning approval, the murder of a Roman greatly angered Caesar.
Oh, okay, that stupid shell is only on tour mode, I believe. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Oh, so it's not on the normal game. What is going on here? What are you doing to him? Why is he glowing? He's got an itch, look. He's like, fucking hell. It's glowing. My arsehole is glowing. This is really cool. I like this.
Cleopatra, aware of Caesar's anger against Ptolemy for the murder of Pompey, decided to take advantage of the situation.
No, I didn't even realise that was censoring.
Secret,
yeah, that's
hoping
crazy.
to establish an alliance with one of the most powerful men of the time. Outside of the legend, where she had herself smuggled into his quarters in a carpet, what exactly happened during that fateful meeting remains a mystery. However, Caesar seemed to see a better ruler for Egypt in Cleopatra than in her young and too easily influenced brother. Invoking Ptolemy XII's will, Caesar attempted to mediate peace between the siblings.
Nice. I mean, this is how museums need to be, isn't it? In real life.
Ptolemy XIII was enraged by the turn of events.
House knows exactly what happened.
None too happy
He was there.
to see Cleopatra return. Urged on by General Achilles and Pothinos, the young pharaoh plotted against Caesar and Cleopatra,
Oh, is it really,
resulting
Roger?
in the siege
Nice.
of Alexandria in 47 BCE.
I think I need to start playing this game
It was in
again. I
March
do.
47 BCE that Caesar defeated Ptolemy XIII's forces. The young pharaoh drowned in the Nile after having fled the battlefield. With her opponents dead or powerless, Cleopatra married her other much younger brother, Ptolemy XIV,
Oh,
and finally claimed the throne of Egypt for good.
okay.
The end of the Alexandrian War also cemented the romantic and political alliance between Cleopatra and Caesar.
Nice one, Pug. So, they married their brothers. Okay. Oh, what a waste of a lion. Although I have killed a couple of lions in this game, much to the disgust of the viewers.
In June of 47 BCE, Cleopatra gave birth to a son, whom she called Caesarion. Caesar did not accept the boy as
Caesarion.
his heir, choosing instead his nephew Octavian.
Hang on, what? They had a child together?
Nonetheless, on his return to Rome, Caesar invited the queen and her brother husband to stay in the city. Her
Brother
presence
husband.
still drew much disapproval from the Senate. Always a strategist, Caesar left 4 legions in Egypt, and a man he trusted to direct Egyptian affairs, giving him control of the wheat supplies essential to Rome. Cleopatra and her entourage remained in Rome until March 44 BCE, when Caesar was murdered.
So they had a child together. I didn't even know that. Caesar and Cleopatra had a child together. She had a brother husband. I like the way they... Oh, we need to think of a term for this. Should we just call it brother husband? Yeah, that's fine. It does exactly what it says on the tin. Oh my god. Did you know that? They called him Jason. Did you know that? I didn't know that. See, this is brilliant. Yeah, this is brilliant. I'm not that educated. I will pre-warn you. Yeah. But yeah, did you know they had a child together? Brother husband sounds like a reality show. So true.
Caesar's most faithful ally, Mark Antony, often visited the Queen of Egypt during
I
his
love
stay
these
in
paintings.
Rome.
Love them.
Unlike most, he recognized the legitimacy of Caesarion, the natural son of Caesar.
Yeah, exactly, Cosmic. Yeah.
Antony knew he would need the riches of Egypt in order to fight Octavian and claim the Roman Empire. Cleopatra, in return, saw a powerful ally. In the winter of 41 BCE, she arranged a sumptuous tour of Egypt by boat to show Antony the wealth of her country and the power she held as its
Hopefully we get
ruler.
on the river. That's what I want to do. Go up
A
the
romantic
go up the
and
Nile.
political
I
relationship
want to take you
followed.
right up the Nile.
The Roman Senate was once again most displeased. To calm spirits in Rome, Antony married Octavia, sister of Octavian.
Skoda Octavia. Oh my god, they married a car. This is getting quite fruity now, isn't it? This is interesting.
Despite his marriage to Octavia, Antony remained Cleopatra's lover,
Look at
and
that.
she gave birth to their children.
Oh my good god, it's all going on, isn't
Cleopatra
it?
increased her kingdom's territory and started a political propaganda alongside her lover in Egypt and beyond. She hoped to create a Ptolemaic federal empire
Look at
with
that, it looks stunning,
Alexandria
doesn't
at
it?
its center. Antony eventually repudiated his Roman wife for the Egyptian queen, much to the dismay of the Roman elite. However, while Mark Antony focused on Egypt, Octavian carefully gained military and political ascendancy over him in Rome.
Better than EastEnders. It is, isn't it? Fucking hell. You know? Get out of the fucking way.
Octavian managed his own propaganda campaign and succeeded. The Roman people hated Mark Antony and Cleopatra.
Ah.
To avoid the censure still inherent in attacking a
Probably.
fellow Roman, Octavian
You can't see it
simply
behind me.
declared
It
war
says
against
probably.
Egypt. Rome's power still reigned supreme. The powerful Egyptian fleet, led by Cleopatra as well as Mark Antony's forces, were defeated in 31 BCE in Actium. Octavian arrived in Egypt in 30 BCE to formalize his victory.
I was really hoping the British Museum, because I didn't look into it before we went. You sure was hench as fuck. I know, Robbo. I didn't give a fuck though, did I? And I'm a woman, you know what I mean? I think they've got Cleopatra in one of the museums in Cairo, I think. I was really hoping it was going to be the British Museum. Of course it ain't.
The following events remain difficult to confirm due to the many versions and legends around them. It is believed that after hearing a rumor about Cleopatra's suicide,
Quick, she's still alive. Look, her
Mark
head moved.
Antony committed suicide himself. He was brought to the Queen as he slowly passed away. Knowing that Octavian would have her chained and paraded through Rome in defeat, Cleopatra planned her own suicide. She most likely killed herself with arsenic, though admittedly the version where she uses an asp to deliver a fatal bite may be considered more dramatic.
Hang on.
What happened to the body of Cleopatra is still a mystery.
She used an ass. Oh my god. That was interesting. Let me just...
The following events remain difficult
I just need to listen to that again.
due to the many versions and legends around them. It is believed that after hearing a rumor about Cleopatra's suicide, Mark Antony committed suicide himself. He was brought to the Queen as he slowly passed away. Knowing that Octavian would have her chained and paraded through Rome in defeat, Cleopatra planned her own suicide. She most likely killed herself with arsenic, though admittedly the version where she uses an asp to deliver a fatal bite may be considered more dramatic.
Whose ass?
What happened to the body of Cleopatra?
Wow,
is
whose
still a mystery.
ass dealt that final blow? Wow. Look at that, look at all the mosaic below there. Whose ass was... Wow, okay. Right, okay. I really want to finish going up the Nile. That's what I want to do. The camel's arse? Yeah, it probably was. Let's do daily life. We'll go through them all. Not today. We'll do about another 15 minutes. And then we're back tonight, don't forget, for the sponsor stream. Better do some practicing. Mine would kill her, no problem.
Welcome to Osiris, the first mummy.
Oh, look at this, look. The first mummy. I think this is a bit in the game, isn't it? I recognise this at the beginning. Yeah, I think we've done this mission at the start of the game.
The oldest mummies recovered date from the Old Kingdom, though Egyptologists believe that mummification was in use much earlier than that. At first, the body was mummified through environmental desiccation, by leveraging the dryness of the environment and the heat of the climate.
So they got that on their side straight away, haven't they?
In mummification were conducted with the use of resin made from tree sap. Strips of linen were only used on some superficial parts of the epidermis of the hands or jaw.
Well, over the years, they put Cleopatra as this, you know, this, how would you describe it? This sort of fruity, sort of sexual image, really, aren't they? Which apparently isn't true at all. She was quite ugly, apparently.
Ideologically, the will to preserve the body is not explained in any way until 3600 BCE. This is when the Egyptian belief that the body housed the soul was finally documented for modern Egyptologists to eventually decipher. It was not until the arrival of the myth of Osiris in the Egyptian religion around the 5th dynasty that mummification was thoroughly conceptualized. The practice was thereafter grounded in both a mythological and ideological point of view.
Crazy, isn't it? But so interesting. And do they still do it now
Osiris
over there?
was
Do they still do it
mainly known
now?
as the god of the dead and the god of resurrection. The most well-known Genesis myth concerning Osiris is that of his dismemberment.
You know, do people, because this is so deep in Egyptian culture, isn't it? Do they just have crematoriums now like us? Or do people pay to maybe be mummified of some sort? I bet it goes on. I bet it goes on. Do you?
It is Plutarch who gives the most simplified and complete summary of the story. Within Egyptian mythology, Osiris represented the first king to rule Egypt. Jealous of his power, his brother Seth
No, you're
attempted
just
to
starting
usurp
rumours
his
now,
throne.
Cosmic.
After several unsuccessful attempts, Seth succeeded in killing his brother by dismembering him and scattering the pieces of his body all over Egypt. Isit, the
They
great
still do
of
that now,
magic,
though, let's be honest.
traveled all over Egypt in search of the pieces of her husband's body. After a long search, she recovered all the pieces save for his manhood, as it was eaten by a fish.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my god. and that mummy, is that how sharks are made? He had his cock eaten by a fish. Fucking hell.
Isit
This
then
is
reassembled
awesome.
the body
I'm
of her
loving
husband
this.
by binding it together with strips of linen. Aided by her sister Nephthys, another powerful magician, they gave Osiris the breath of life. This not only brought him back from the dead, but also allowed him to recover his virility long enough to impregnate Isit, thus ensuring his succession before, once
Oh
more,
my God.
dying. Thus Horus was born.
Wow. This is getting freaky now, isn't it? I've got to step over this, look.
The ritual used to bring Osiris back to life essentially depicts how he became the first mummy. It is why, on the sarcophagi of kings, we often find Isit and Nephthys represented as the magicians who restore life to the deceased.
Like Paul Daniels, for example. Enjoyed that one. A little bit freaked out. Oh, let's go in here, look. So much detail in this game, aren't there? Absolutely dripping with detail. Yeah, this is one of the first missions, wasn't it, Roger? Do you remember doing this mission? That's a better effect. I like that effect because, yeah, in the game, the cobwebs, sort of, they go like a blue sort of futuristic colour, don't they? Yeah, which I never liked from day one. Right, we're going to do one more little chapter. It's pretty sweet though, isn't it? I've really enjoyed this actually. Right, okay. Let's just do it in order. Mummies of ancient Egypt. 18 stations there. Yeah, no, it was right at the start Roger. I remember doing it. Right, this one's got 18 stations. This is the last one, and then we'll be back on tonight for the secret sponsor stream. There's still time to join. If you do, or you've been thinking about becoming a sponsor, you get a £20 or get put into a giveaway for £20 worth of vouchers as well. 2 £10 vouchers. You can have Steam or PlayStation Network. We do that right at the start of the sponsor stream, and you get a stream every month. Outside, it's on YouTube, but everyone doesn't see it. Only sponsors see it. That's tonight. Right. Okay. Here we go.
Welcome to Mummies of Ancient Egypt.
Mummy.
The mummification process used by ancient Egyptians was highly ceremonial in nature. The different types of mummification took into account the social level and richness of the deceased and even included animals. The most expensive was that reserved for the pharaoh and the royal family, as well as some of the wealthiest members of the court.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to normal people. They just got... Sorry?
The first
Oh
step
god,
was
what's happening
cleaning.
on here?
Once bodies arrived at the mummification site, they were placed on inclined tables while the bodily fluids drained
I've never played it
away.
either, Park, only the stream I did the other
They
day.
were then cleansed by priests until they were deemed ready for the purification process. The purification of the body began with a libation from sacred water. The priest then fumigated the body with terebinth resin. After the ritual cleansing, priests used oils, spices, and all kinds of essences to further purify the body of the deceased. Finally, all body hair was meticulously removed.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's where it comes from then. Oh, this is the nasty bit.
Once the body was properly purified, embalmers
Oh my
removed the organs,
God.
following very specific procedures.
Ooh.
First, the brain was extracted by inserting a spoon through the nostril
Oh
to break
my
the ethmoid
God.
bone. Then, using a spatula, the pieces of the brain were removed as thoroughly as possible.
It's done really
What
well,
matter
isn't it?
remained was extracted after a process of liquefaction, achieved through the use of a caustic liquid. The cranial box, once emptied, was rinsed and disinfected with palm wine, and then stuffed with strips of linen cloth and liquefied resin.
Interesting, and a good way, I think, to tell history.
After taking care of the brain,
Oh, fucking
embalmers
hell.
made an incision on the left flank and carefully set aside the viscera. The inside of the body was also rinsed with palm wine.
Oh.
Then the embalmers filled the belly with pure myrrh, cinnamon, and other perfumes, and sewed it shut. The removed viscera were washed in palm wine and packed in crushed herbs before being placed in canopic jars.
So you can imagine, if this is true, and if this is your belief, they die, they get in the thing, they come to life, and they immediately die because they haven't got their fucking lungs, you know what I mean? But they don't know they've died because they've took their brain as well. Fucking hell, honestly.
Canopic jars were placed close to the sarcophagus or kept in a chest nearby.
Kids puking all. I know,
At first,
yeah.
the viscera were wrapped in tissue and placed in the vases. As the ritual requirements became more elaborate, ointments, spices, and even water and natron were added to the process.
Oh, they were next to it. They just pick him up, yeah. Oh, thank fuck for that. Right, now let's go and, you know, let's go and fucking be in a film or something, you know? Immorte.
Towards the middle of the New Kingdom, canopic jars assumed the appearance of the 4 sons of Horus. They were known as the protectors of the viscera. These protectors had their own guardians.
This is done
each
very
a
well, though,
goddess
isn't
of
it?
the
Look at the
dead.
state of that one. Look, you
In
might want to.
Seti, the
Yeah.
human-headed
Can
god
we have
protected the
an
liver
Asda Ace to
and
aisle
was
2,
protected by
please?
the goddess Iset. Happy, the baboon-headed god, protected the lungs and was protected by the goddess Nephthys. Dumut-F, the jackal-headed god, protected the stomach and was protected by the goddess Neith. And finally, Kebesenuef, the falcon-headed god, protected the intestines and was protected by the goddess Selket.
Of course it was. I'm starting to feel a bit sick.
Natron is a naturally occurring mineral found in evaporite. These sedimentary rocks are made up of mineral salts and were generally mined from lake beds in Egypt.
Yeah, I protect this guy's bowels. Do you? That is... It's very rewarding. It's not. It's not at all, actually. It's really boring.
Embalmers used natron as a desiccant to dry the flesh and stop the corpse's putrefaction process.
Oh, okay.
Once the body was cleansed and eviscerated, the deceased was covered in natron for about 40 days. Once desiccated, the body was prepared to be wrapped in strips of linen.
Or tissue paper if you're at a fancy dress party. You know, yeah. This is so detailed. I love this. I really have enjoyed doing it. I'll definitely do it again.
Once the body was fully desiccated by the natron treatment, embalmers oiled, painted, and sometimes even added hair extensions or a wig. They often used a henna-based antiseptic preparation.
He was
to give the
bald in
body a
real
more
life. I
colorful
know, I just
and
thought he looked
lively
good
appearance,
as
while
Meatloaf.
preparing it to resist molds and fungi.
He's a fun guy, that one.
Next came the phase which gave mummies their most well-known appearance, the wrapping. Originally, each part of the body was wrapped separately. Men had their arms crossed on their chests, while women had the right arm folded over their breasts and the left arm stretched along the body. However, techniques evolved over
YTS
time.
game. Do you remember the YTS?
Eventually, the body as
£22.50 a week
whole
that was.
wrapped with limbs alongside the body, and increasingly sophisticated and different techniques of weaving flax bands were developed.
Thatcher that was.
In addition to the jewelry and amulets arranged on the skin of the deceased, amulets were also carefully inserted into the weaving of the linen strips.
See, this is why they started
Each
to have
amulet was linked to a myth,
grave robbers,
or
wasn't it?
to an ideological belief related to rebirth.
Oh, that's nice.
Masks were an important part of a mummy's finery. Early wooden funeral coverings were very expensive, however,
That's really
and
nice.
soon replaced by masks created through a technique known as cartonnage. Masks fashioned with this method were created by laying several layers of linen or papyrus pulp on a base made of mud or straw. Cartonnage was used for more than funerary masks. Ornaments and the animal coffins of the late period were also made in such a fashion.
That is beautiful, isn't it? There's no denying that.
Cartonnage evolved to cover the entire body of the mummy during the 22nd dynasty. The mummies were placed on a board inside a rigid envelope of cartonnage, which was laced at the back with a string. Extremely cost-effective and visually pleasing, this technique was very popular through all layers of the society.
I bet it looks lovely, doesn't it?
Cartonnage envelopes
See, I
were
love these
usually
drawings
covered
as
with
well.
inscriptions
Absolutely
and
love them.
polychrome decorations, specifying the names and titles of the deceased, scenes depicting daily life, or decorations specific to the funerary world. This was a true gift for Egyptologists eager to study the funerary rites of the ancient Egyptians. Once the mummy was
Oh god,
properly
we're back to
wrapped
this
and
one.
adorned,
Fucking hell.
the embalmers proceeded with the ceremony of the opening of the mouth. A vital step of the funerary process, this ceremony was meant to bring back to life the deceased themselves, or an object representing the deceased.
Okay.
There were no less than 75 different stages for the opening of the mouth. It required the application of the same oils, ointments, spices, and perfumes used during the mummification process.
Look at them hands.
Makeup was sometimes part of the process as well.
That's a little bit freaky, isn't it?
The last stage of this long ritual was the act of touching the mouth with the adze to symbolically allow the breath of life to infuse an inert body.
It sounds like a
Its
bit of a faff.
performance was
Hope
reserved
that
for a
the
very
arse isn't going to
specific
make
set of people.
another
Priests who wore the
appearance.
mask of the god Anubis, a close relative of the family, or by the heir to the throne.
That's it, everyone. Don't want to overdo it. I think hour and a half on this is absolutely perfect. So let me know if you enjoyed it. That is it. Be back 8:30 tonight for the sponsor stream. Have a good day, everyone. Don't get too hot out there in the sun, and I'll see you next time.